Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. A Civivi, no, it's not. It's just in a Civivi pouch. Actually, as far as I know, I hope I'm right about this, the OEM is Bestech. This is actually from Avian knives. I have taken a look at another model in the past, which if memory serves me correct, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but the idea is interesting, right? This is a new model. Now, I haven't actually opened this up yet. I'm going to open it up and share it with you guys. This is just a first impressions video. We're not reviewing it. I don't know really anything about it yet, but I wanted to share this with you guys, and then we'll do the review down the road. I'll link any and all information I can in the description. Thanks so much to Avian Knives for sending it in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. What do we have here? Something undoubtedly, yep, super duper lightweight. Wow, jeez. That weighs nothing. I'm going to weigh it right now. I got to weigh it. Before we even start here. This is the Topaza, I guess, which apparently is named after a type of hummingbird, which, I mean, that feels appropriate. Like, I mean, I'm not, I almost said it even looks like a hummingbird. It doesn't. I would be very concerned if a hummingbird, you know, took on this appearance. I would assume that I was under surveillance by some sort of very futuristic government tech, if that was the case. All of the hummingbirds around my house look like normal hummingbirds, as far as I know. Okay, that was a weird transit. Good Lord! Thank goodness I'm being saved by the amazing lightweight. I had nothing else to say in that line of thinking. So this is incredibly lightweight. Now, I think that this is interesting. I have to be like fully transparent with you guys. I always joke about when my scale cannot figure out if this is 1.6 or 1.7. Did you guys see it literally go back and forth? So, admittedly, I'm not the most enthusiastic person when it comes to ultra lightweight knives. And I always kind of poke fun at the idea that you're gaining any meaningful benefit, you know, that's when a knife is less than 3 ounces. And I'm biased because personally, my line is like, yeah, if it's under 3 ounces, I just call it lightweight, right? If it's 1.5 ounces or if it's 2.8 ounces, I personally don't really care, right? Because I'm just walking around my house, sometimes, you know, walking around town or in my backyard or whatever. I'm just a regular Joe carrying a pocket knife, right? The only difference to me is how much more likely I am personally to lose it. Does that mean that there's not a benefit to having a knife that's substantially less weight, even if it's under 3 ounces? No, it doesn't mean that at all. There are plenty of people who do have to kind of min-max for the amount of utility, like the utility to weight ratio on their person, especially in combination with all the other gear they're carrying. If they're doing something specific, right, like hiking, camping, hunting, fishing, right? I imagine people who do stuff like that, it matters a lot more. In this case, I think Avian Knives, their goal, whatever your perspective is on all that, their goal is just, we really want to make really, really lightweight premium knives. So yeah, that is, I mean, like, they definitely accomplished their goal. I gotta admit, that flipping action, the detent, I kind of expected the detent to feel like nothing. I'm feeling a lot of different things here, and I'm going to do my best to describe this and be honest with you. Number one, this is crazy thin and lightweight. Immediately picking this up, my brain is not 100% sure that it's even titanium. It is. I know that it is. But it is so lightweight, it's hard for my brain to go, oh, yeah, that's titanium, because I've associated this material with a heavier weight. It's not incredibly heavy, but just a heavier weight. And it's, I mean, yeah, it's incredibly thin. It's also been milled out. I mean, this honestly looks like the framework of a building, like with the beams and everything, right? Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some complexity in here, and there's a lot of character. I think Avian Knives is one of those companies where, I mean, I don't know how many designs they have out there, but I think once you see one, you'll be able to identify the design as an Avian design, because there's a lot of uniqueness within, I mean, the fact that it's like ultra thin, but the way that this looks. Now that it's opened up, it does definitely look a lot more like a hummingbird, right? But again, like it's with like a robotic, like some sort of like metal skeleton frame, right? But yeah, the first thing here that through my senses was the flipping action is actually really great. when I'm holding something that's really, really lightweight, it's almost, I'm not going to call this delicate because the truth is that it's not, I'm not feeling like a crazy amount of flex. I mean, a little bit, yeah, but not the same as like picking up a bug out, like a standard Benchmade bug out that's in the hollowed out injection mold plastic scales. That feels very cheap and very fragile. This feels lightweight, but it doesn't necessarily feel fragile, right? It still feels pretty solid. When I pick up lightweight knives, I just don't expect the action to feel good. I feel like it's just going to be really underwhelming, or like I'm going to feel like maybe it's because, and I'm spitballing because I don't know why I think this. Maybe it's because the lighter weight of the frame means that if there is some sort of imperfection on the inside of the pivot, the feeling of that imperfection is amplified by the fact that the frame doesn't eat up as much of the. I don't know, like if I'm holding a big tanky solid knife and there's some sort of imperfection in the pivot, I feel like I would not be as prone to feeling it because of how much material that feeling has to go through to get to my hands. Is there any science in that? I have no idea, right? I'm trying to figure out why I think that. A lot of times when I deploy a super lightweight, skinny little knife, I feel like I can kind of sense the little imperfections in there a little bit better. Maybe. This is not the case, actually. The detent, I think, is tuned just fine, considering we have a very low profile. And I'll tell you right now, that is not a push-button flipper. You can do it, but it's real pokey. Not that they haven't taken steps to knock it down. It's just very narrow. So you definitely want to grab it up here and pull it backwards. And that feels good, right? I'm not going to call the detent heavy or even medium. I would say medium light, which is appropriate for this. Can you? Oh, yeah, easily. Had I done that yet? I haven't even paid attention. Can you? Having a hard time doing this is probably not what it's meant for. It's probably meant for the reverse flick, which you can easily do. I think the detent's tuned properly. Now, is it comfortable to hold? It's a little awkward to hold because it's thin and super light. I mean, like the edges are knocked down. It's just incredibly thin, right? So personally, I like a knife that fills out the hand a little bit better. I think for what this knife was designed to do, which was just be incredibly lightweight and be still made out of titanium, and then be in your pocket and be used for simple, light cutting tasks. This is very obviously not designed to be an all-purpose, heavy-duty outdoor knife, right? I'm trying to keep my own personal bias on one side and, respect the design philosophy of Avian knives here, okay? So, that being said, do I love how this feels in the hand? Personally, no. I like a knife that fills out the hand a little bit better. So I can understand why some people like this. It doesn't give me that feeling of like, hand melting, confidence. But I don't think it was designed to be that way, right? I think that, they accomplished what they tried to do, which again was make something lightweight and, out of titanium. So it is cool that they can get that much blade in 1.6 ounces. What do we have here for the overall length? We have, it's about, honestly, that's about the same size as the deck. I think it's a little shorter than the bug out. So a titanium bug out, for example, right? I bet you my Lexan Deca weighs the same or more. My titanium bug out, for example, weighs 2.8 ounces. Again, doesn't matter to me. It will matter to some people. My Lexan, no, that weighs 2.3. So this being very nearly the same size as the bug out in titanium, 1.6, probably 1.65 ounces. And only a little bit shorter. No, all identical. Blade length, cutting edge length is actually more. And you have more, well, I don't know. You can't really count this. This is a little choke up spot right here. I think that was intentional, right? The blade is super thin and definitely thin behind the edge. The geometry of the blade for sure. It's probably M390. It's an interesting idea. Obviously, it's going to come, like the review is going to come down to how much this costs, right? And my experience carrying it, which I will do. I'll carry it and use it. This isn't my favorite style of thing to carry, right? I bet you this has a pretty crazy price tag on it. And, I'm going to try and follow my own advice. Sometimes things are expensive. A lot of times we try to say, it's titanium it's made in China, in this case Bestech, and it's M390, so you automatically lump it into a certain price tier. And we have to remember that everybody has different rules, right? Even like Bestech stuff made out of the same, like their in-house designs made out of the exact same materials could cost substantially less because they can produce them on a much larger scale, whereas somebody using them as an OEM, right, having to pay in, they might not want to purchase like this massive scale of knives, and Bestech will charge them out the ass to do that, right? So the end price ends up being substantially higher than Bestech's in-house stuff, which of course is to Bestech's advantage on both ends. This works this way with a lot of OEMs. This is something that I have slowly been learning over the last couple of years, and it makes it really difficult for designers to work with some OEMs because of this, pricing system. Now, I'm sure there's a lot more details to that. That being said, what it comes down to is it a good knife? Are there people out there I think would really enjoy it for the price tag, right? Does it make sense? Is there a market for this, right? So these types of things are often passion projects. So it might be, Avian Knives is like, hey, we said it, we're setting out to achieve a specific goal. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. Whatever. We just want to do it and see if it resonates with anybody. Fair enough. I mean, that's technically every design that's ever existed. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Cool though. I mean, the lockout's solid. I really thought there's no way. Yeah, it's got a little steel lock bar insert. Sure. Okay. I wish it had some color. Maybe the end result will have some color. I don't know. I'll link it down in the description. You guys can check it out if you want to. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.